Hello, welcome to my studio and welcome to my very first chatty YouTube video. I'm doing this video because I keep getting asked questions all the time with regards to this whole art discussion series. And so I thought that it might be an idea to put some of the top questions into video format. So I've chosen 4 top questions that keep coming up time and time again. So let's go. Question number 1, why? You are an artist. Why are you making extra work for yourself by going around interviewing other artists about their journeys? I think the best way to answer the question is to go back a bit and just to give you a little bit of information about where I came from and how I got to this point. I didn't enter the art world the traditional way. So I didn't go to art school, and basically my career began in the pharmaceutical industry, and that industry is very target driven in terms of the job that I was doing specifically. So when I came into the art world as somebody who was completely unknown but wanting to be known and wanting to do an exhibition of my work, I had to obviously reevaluate all of that. The process of reevaluation involved me speaking to other artists and learning or starting to learn how this art world works. In doing that, in having those conversations in 2011, it was a combination of those conversations plus me being sick at the time. I have a chronic medical condition, which meant that I just couldn't do anything with myself, but I still wanted to be involved in the art world. So it was a combination of those 2 things that made me decide that actually I want to put these conversations into a cohesive format so that I can share that information with other people, because I'm actually learning some very interesting and useful things and tips. So it started off being a blog called Art Success, and I would interview people and transcribe the interviews into text and put them onto my blog. And they also went into a magazine called Lime Magazine. It was a physical publication that went out once a month. I interviewed people from all across the world. So for me, part of the why is that it is getting to meet and talk to, in a really quite intimate way, very interesting artists, and a variety of interesting artists as well. And so at that time, because it wasn't on video, I was doing it over the phone, I was able to interview artists from all over the world, America, Africa, Europe. So it was a tremendously exciting time for me. So that's part of the reason why. And I guess the other part of the reason why is because, well, obviously every time I speak to a new artist, I'm gaining something from that. And then I'm able to share that information with other people, and I'm also able to promote the artist who I'm interviewing. So it becomes this thing that's bigger than me, and it's bigger than the artist, and it's bigger than the viewer, because it's all of those things combined. And to me, that's really exciting. And that's one of the things, well, all of those things combined, what keeps me going and keeps me going out and doing these interviews. So that is the why. Question number 2. How did you think of the questions that you would ask the artists? It kind of formed itself because of where I was coming from. I was coming from a place of wanting to know what it took to be successful in the art world, because I wanted to be successful in the art world. So all of my questions hinged around success and trying to find out how people overcome challenges, how people, the things that they've achieved once they've got there, what steps they took to achieve those things. Those are the things that I was personally interested in, because those are the things that I thought would help me. And by then me sharing that information, those are the things that I thought would help the viewer or the reader. So that was the process of the how in terms of defining the questions. But if you look at my blog, the way that I was questioning people then is quite different to the way that I question people now. It was a bit more in depth with the blog. In person with the video interviews, I've had to strip it back a bit, because otherwise these videos would be an hour long. Some of the interviews that I was doing on my blog, I would be I'd be on the phone to people for 2 or 3 hours. Obviously, these are not going to be feature length interviews, so it's a bit of a different process. And also, in terms of the questioning for the art success, which if you are paying attention, then you will have noticed that it's no longer called art success. It is called art discussion. And it came to be called Art Discussion because I have a mentor. And I think having a mentor is really important, especially when, well, at all stages in your career, it's really important to have somebody that you can speak to on a regular basis who is above you in terms of doing further along in their career, who can give you advice and support. So my mentor is a man called Simon Fredericks, who is a fine art photographer and director. He's actually an award-winning director, having recently won the Screen Nation Award for Black is the New Black. If you don't know, get to know. But anyways, we sat down in our last mentoring session. We went through everything that I've been doing, and we came to the conclusion that Art Discussion was a better name, because that's essentially what these things are. It's discussions about artists' career, about the journey that they've taken, and about how they overcome challenges and achieve success. And whatever that success may be, success means different things to different people. It may be a small success in terms of a piece of work that you've done amazingly, or it could be a big success, like landing a massive show somewhere like the Tate or something. So that's what it's about. And because of that, we thought that the title Art Discussion was just more appropriate. Question number 3 is, what do you want the viewers to take away from the interviews? Well, I think I've kind of touched on it a little bit already. If you're watching my Art Discussion interviews, then you're obviously interested in art. You may be an artist yourself, you may be a collector, or you may be someone who is just interested in the journey of artists. So firstly, I think that the people who I interview are tremendously interesting and inspiring. So that's number 1, is inspiration. So whether it is that you're an artist and you want to see another artist talking about their journey so that it can inspire you, or whether it is that you are a collector or a dealer or someone like that, and you then discover a new artist, I want you to be inspired, I want you to be excited, I want you to be interested, I want you to find a new artist who you'd never found before, and I want you to be uplifted. Yes. So question number 4 is, what do you want the artists to get from the Art Discussion series? Well, I think there are 2 parts to that question. And so firstly, the artists who are being interviewed, and secondly, which I have briefly touched upon, is the artists who may be watching. So for the artists who are being interviewed, obviously I want to help to promote them in any way that I can. And in this small way, via my baby YouTube channel, if I can help an artist who may never even have had an opportunity to speak publicly about their work, to get a little bit of exposure, then I think that's absolutely fantastic. And just to give you an example, Adelaide Damoah, who is the founder of the BBFA Collective, of which I am one of the founding members, I interviewed her last year, and as a direct consequence of her interview, she got contacted by somebody to ask her to go and speak at an event. That's just one example, and this kind of thing is what happens as a result of my and I mean, at the time, I did that last year when I first started doing the video interviews. As the channel grows and grows, this kind of thing will happen more and more often, which I think is fantastic. So anything that you can do in terms of commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing to help to grow this channel, because at the end of the day, I want to build a community. And by building that community, I can then help to promote other artists as well as myself. That's the main thing for me, for the artists, is promotion, exposure, and just the opportunity to be seen by other people who may not have heard of them before. In terms of artists who are watching, again, just to be inspired, to be uplifted, to see the artist down the road who is going through similar struggles to what you're going through and still pushing and striving to achieve their dreams, and seeing sometimes the steps that other people take to overcome the same challenges that you're facing, just getting a different perspective on some of the challenges that you're facing can be so helpful. And I'm lucky enough to work in an artist community here at Thameside Studios, whereby I've got quite a few friends, so we can go into each other's studios and support each other and give each other critiques. It is like being back at university again. It's amazing. But a lot of us working in isolation. So for me, the opportunity to show you, the viewer, an artist who maybe you look up to, or maybe he's at the same level on their career path as you, who can give a fresh perspective on things. I just think it's fantastic, and I feel really lucky that this thing came to me and that I am in a position to be able to actually do this. So very, very grateful. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe to my channel, because by doing that, well, you're going to help me to grow the channel. By helping to grow the channel and grow this community, you're also helping to promote other artists who maybe little known, maybe known, just depends on who they are. But either way, you're helping to promote artists and art, which is so important. Until next time, take care. Bye.